Here's why so many people regret retiring at 65. Have you ever wondered if waiting until 65 to retire is actually the right move? For decades, this magic number has been drilled into our collective consciousness as the finish line, the moment when you finally made it and can enjoy the fruits of your labor. But what if I told you that a growing number of Americans are discovering that retiring at 65 was one of their biggest life regrets? I recently spoke with Richard, a 72-year-old former manufacturing executive who retired at the traditional age of 65. With tears in his eyes, he told me, "I spent my healthiest years in conference rooms instead of seeing the world with my wife. Now that I have the time, my knees can't handle the hiking trips we always postponed. I wish someone had told me what I'm about to tell you." Today, I'm going to reveal why so many people who follow the conventional wisdom of retiring at 65 end up with profound regrets. More importantly, I'll share the alternative approaches that could save you from making the same mistakes. Whether you're 30 years from retirement or just a few years away, this information could completely transform your later years. The MIT Age Lab recently surveyed over 1,000 retirees between the ages of 70 and 85, and their findings were startling. More than 65% expressed significant regrets about when and how they retired. But these weren't just vague feelings of discontent. They pointed to specific, identifiable patterns that we can learn from. Stay with me until the end, because I'll share a powerful framework for retirement planning that most financial advisors never discuss, one that focuses on life satisfaction rather than just financial numbers. This approach alone could be the difference between a retirement of regret and one of fulfillment. Now, let's examine the 5 most common regrets expressed by people who retired at the traditional age of 65. Regret number 1, waiting too long to retire. The most consistent regret I hear from traditional retirees is surprisingly straightforward. I wish I had retired earlier. This might seem counterintuitive given concerns about having enough money, but it reflects a profound truth about aging. Many people reach 65 with their finances in order, but their health already in decline. The energy and physical capability you have at 55 or 60 is often significantly greater than at 65 or 70. This means many retirees find themselves with financial freedom, but diminished capacity to enjoy it. As one retiree poignantly shared with me, "I saved diligently for 40 years to travel the world, only to discover I can't sit on a plane for more than 2 hours without severe back pain." The retirement activities they spent decades dreaming about, hiking Machu Picchu, learning to ski, or playing with grandchildren, become challenging or impossible right when they finally have the time. Regret number 2, the identity crisis. The second major regret centers around the sudden loss of identity that many experience. After decades of building a career and professional reputation, retirement can create a jarring void in how people define themselves. Dr. Kenneth Johnson, a former surgeon from Boston, described his first year of retirement as falling into an abyss. After 40 years of saving lives and being respected in his community as Dr. Johnson, he suddenly became just Ken, the retiree. His calendar, once filled with important appointments and responsibilities, became emptier than he could have imagined. "I went from making life or death decisions to deciding which TV show to watch," he told me. "Nobody prepared me for how devastating that transition would be to my sense of self-worth." This identity crisis often leads to depression and isolation, with many retirees reporting that their mental health declined significantly in the first 2 years after retiring at 65. Regret number 3, financial miscalculations. While financial concerns aren't the only regret, they remain significant. Many retirees discover that their carefully calculated retirement savings fail to account for 3 critical factors. First, healthcare costs typically increase dramatically in later years, often at rates far exceeding general inflation. A healthy 65-year-old couple retiring today should expect to spend approximately $315,000 on healthcare alone during retirement, according to Fidelity's latest estimates. Second, they underestimate their longevity. Today's 65-year-olds have about a 25% chance of living past 90. That's potentially 25+ years of retirement that need funding, far longer than previous generations had to plan for. Third, they fail to account for the emotional cost of financial constraint. Many retirees find themselves technically solvent, but unable to help their adult children with down payments, contribute to grandchildren's education, or handle unexpected expenses without anxiety. Regret number 4, relationship challenges. The fourth major regret involves relationship dynamics, particularly for married couples. Many couples find that retirement creates unexpected strain on their relationship. The familiar phrase, "for better or worse, but not for lunch," captures the tension that emerges when spouses suddenly spend all day together after decades of independent daily rhythms. The adjustment can be jarring. Sandra and Michael from Arizona exemplify this challenge. After Michael's retirement from his accounting firm at 65, Sandra, who had managed the household for decades, felt her space was being invaded. He wanted to reorganize the kitchen, change our shopping routine, and suddenly had opinions about everything I'd been handling for 40 years, she explained. Their first 2 years of retirement included more arguments than their previous decade together. Regret number 5, underdeveloped interests and community. The final major regret centers around the lack of meaningful activities and community connections in retirement. Many 65-year-old retirees discover they haven't developed interests or social connections outside of work that are substantial enough to fill 40-plus hours a week. William, a former marketing executive, put it bluntly, "I was so busy climbing the corporate ladder that I never developed hobbies or maintained friendships outside of work. When I retired, my work friends moved on, and I had no idea what to do with all this empty time." Research shows that meaningful engagement and social connection are stronger predictors of retirement satisfaction than financial status. Yet many people focus almost exclusively on the financial aspects of retirement planning while neglecting these crucial social and purpose-driven dimensions. The alternative approach, redefining retirement. Now that we understand the common regrets, let's explore a more fulfilling approach to retirement planning that addresses these challenges. This framework focuses on 3 key principles. Principle number 1, life stage retirement planning. Instead of viewing retirement as a single event at 65, consider it as a gradual transition with multiple phases that might begin much earlier. Phase 1, typically in your 50s, might involve shifting to part-time work, consulting, or a less stressful role that allows more freedom while still providing income. This semi-retirement lets you begin enjoying some retirement benefits while your health is still robust. Thomas, a former retail executive, negotiated a 3-day workweek at age 55, gradually transitioning to full retirement at 62. Those transition years gave me time to develop interests beyond work while still earning enough to keep saving, he told me. When full retirement came, I already had a life built outside of my career. Phase 2, perhaps in your early 60s, might involve project-based work or a purpose-driven encore career that prioritizes meaning over maximum income. Phase 3, in your late 60s or 70s, might then involve full retirement, but by then, you've already established your post-career identity, interests, and community. This staged approach allows you to preserve your peak health years for activities you're passionate about, rather than postponing all fulfillment until after 65. Principle number 2, the 3 buckets of retirement satisfaction. Research consistently shows that retirement satisfaction depends on 3 key elements, which I call the satisfaction buckets. The health bucket involves maintaining physical and mental well-being. Retiring earlier, even with somewhat less money, often means enjoying activities while your body is still capable. The purpose bucket involves continued engagement in meaningful activities that provide a sense of identity and contribution. This might include part-time work, volunteering, mentoring, or creative pursuits. The community bucket involves maintaining and developing social connections that provide support and belonging. These relationships become increasingly crucial as we age. Traditional retirement planning focuses almost exclusively on financial considerations, but the most satisfied retirees balance all 3 buckets. They understand that having sufficient money without health, purpose, or community leads to regret, not fulfillment. Principle number 3, testing retirement before committing. One powerful strategy for avoiding retirement regret is to try before you buy. through sabbaticals or extended vacations that simulate retirement conditions. Jonathan, a software engineer, took a 3-month unpaid sabbatical at 58 to practice retirement. He scheduled his days as if he were retired and tested activities he thought he'd enjoy. This experience revealed that his woodworking hobby, which he enjoyed on weekends, became tedious when done daily. It also showed him how much he valued certain aspects of his work. That sabbatical completely changed my retirement plan, Jonathan explained. Instead of fully retiring at 65, I shifted to a 60% schedule at 60, doing the parts of my job I loved while eliminating what drained me. I've maintained this arrangement for 5 years now and have zero intention of fully retiring anytime soon. I've found my perfect balance. The financial reality check. I know what you might be thinking. This all sounds great, but can I afford to retire earlier or work less? This is where we need to challenge some assumptions about retirement finances. First, consider that working even slightly longer, but on your own terms with reduced hours, often provides more satisfaction than retiring completely at 65. This approach can significantly reduce financial stress while preserving your sense of purpose and identity. Second, many financial models assume you need to replace 80% of your pre-retirement income. However, this often overestimates actual needs, especially if you eliminate or reduce major expenses like mortgages, commuting costs, and work attire, and potentially even relocate to a lower-cost area. Third, consider the value of time arbitrage. Would you rather have somewhat fewer financial resources while still energetic enough to enjoy them, or maximum financial resources when your energy and health have declined? This isn't just a financial calculation, it's a life satisfaction calculation. As financial advisor Jane Bryant Quinn wisely noted, people who have modest pensions plus Social Security can have wonderful retirements, while others with fat portfolios can be miserable. The difference often lies not in the amount of money, but in how retirement aligns with personal values and priorities. As we conclude, I want you to reconsider what retirement could look like if you set aside the arbitrary age of 65 and instead designed a transition that prioritizes life satisfaction. The growing regret among traditional retirees offers us valuable lessons. By understanding the emotional, physical, and psychological dimensions of retirement, not just the financial aspects, you can create a more fulfilling second act. Whether that means retiring earlier with slightly less, transitioning gradually through part-time work, or finding purpose-driven encore careers, the key is making conscious choices rather than blindly following conventional wisdom that leads so many to regret. If you found this perspective valuable, please hit the like button to help others discover this important message. Share this video with friends or family members who might be approaching retirement age with traditional expectations. And if you're committed to designing a retirement without regrets, subscribe to our channel and hit the notification bell for more evidence-based insights on creating a truly fulfilling life after your primary career. In the comments below, I'd love to hear your thoughts on the traditional retirement age. Are you planning to retire at 65, earlier, or perhaps transition more gradually? Your experience and plans might help others rethink their own retirement journey. Thank you for joining me today. Remember, the most important question isn't, do I have enough money to retire at 65? But rather, how can I create my most fulfilling life in my later years? The answer is to transform your future.